For the past year and a half, I have been dealing with what appears to be in all outward appearances, food allergies. It started with gluten. I would eat food and then my stomach would hurt really, really bad. I would get very bloated, very nauseated, and sometimes throw up because of all of it. So I cut out gluten and I no longer had any of those issues. Fast forward about 6 to 8 months later, I started experiencing vertigo and dizziness and all of that. My doctor suggested that I cut out dairy, and the symptoms kind of went away. Fast forward another 4 months, the symptoms came back as far as dizziness and vertigo, and then I was told to cut out soy. So for the last probably about 5 months, maybe a little bit longer, I have not had gluten, dairy, or soy, and yet I still do not feel 100%. I've been getting a lot of sinus infections, head colds, upper respiratory infections, just a general feeling of not feeling well. So finally, instead of going back to a doctor and getting on more antibiotics, I decided to go to an acupuncturist to see maybe if there's something to that and maybe if that would help. So yesterday I went and saw one for the first time ever, and I'm not gonna lie, I was very, very nervous about it. I didn't know what to expect. But he sat me down, he asked me why I was there, asked about my diet and some of my symptoms. And initially, overall, he felt like it was something in my gut. Something was going on, either some overgrowth of bacteria or something. So then laid me down on a table, did a few like pressure points and testing like that. And then he had me hold this little glass cup, and he explained it to where, kind of like radio waves and cell phones, where it kind of like radiates, the waves like radiate through the air. So what he said is I held this cup and he would put a vial in it, and then whatever was in that, the energy would get into my body and I would react to it. So he did this through a series of different like salt and vitamins and foods and stuff like that. And I would hold the cup and then I would raise my arm and he would try to push it down, and I would have to like be strong. The weird part is there were certain things that he would put in that cup, and when he would push, I could not keep my arm up. Like I just couldn't, I did not have the strength. When that happened, that pretty much meant that my body was reacting negatively to those items. The first one was vitamin K. Then there was soy was definitely one, which is something that I've been staying away from. So soy was a reactor, milk and sugar. Now the sugars, because he said that milk and sugar was a reactor, he felt like it was more lactose was reacting negatively to me than anything else. But the one thing that he wanted to focus on this time was sugar. And really, despite all that we've learned, we need sugar because sugar is kind of like the transporter of I think it's B vitamins or B12 throughout your body. It like helps transport that to where it needs to go. So if your body reacts negatively to sugar, then you're not gonna get those vitamins, and then there's going to be effects of that. So this week he wanted to focus on sugars. He did, and then he like tested to see like where in my body it was affecting me. So we figured out it was my stomach, my large and small intestine, and my urinary tract. So those are all the areas that sugar negatively affects me. And then he did this other little test to find out, is it environmental, is it nutritional, or emotional? And for me, it is a nutritional thing. So when I eat sugars, my body doesn't react very well to it, especially in my my gut and my digestive system, and then all kinds of chaos can ensue apparently. So he touched some pressure points on my back, and already it was kind of like open those areas, and already like I had a little bit of strength in my arms after he did that. So once we went through all of that, then he knew exactly where to put his little needles, and he put them, I don't even have marks, but he put like one in each hand in this area, one in each like shin area, and then one in each foot on the top of my foot. And I laid there for 25 minutes. I have to say I was fighting sleep. I was so tired and just kind of relaxed because there's like no sound. You're laying there, you're comfortable. But I laid there for 25 minutes, took those out. He did a couple more of those little like tests, and then and what that's supposed to do is that's supposed to like hit a reset of the cycle of things in your body. And then what you do is for 24 hours afterwards, you eat no sugars. So like no dextrose, maltose, glucose, no honey, no cane sugar, no sugars of any kind. So you're completely cutting that out for 24 hours, and that is supposed to completely reset, completely detox your body. And then after the 24 hours, you can go back to eating those foods and you should not have any of those reactions. So last night I went to the store because I realized I didn't have like anything that I could eat for dinner. I ended up getting some flank steak, Brussels sprouts. I have white rice here, and then I got some of these like chips that really all it is seriously is rice and salt, and it's like a little cracker thing. So ended up getting that. And one of the things that I noticed last night is seasonings, because I can't have seasonings. So my food was a little bland, but it was doable. And then for today, I'll probably end up eating like a lot of the same things, just eggs and meats and rice, because that's pretty much all I can have for 24 hours. So hopefully it'll work. We'll see what happens. Oh, and another thing that I found was interesting is I can't brush my teeth with toothpaste. Apparently toothpaste has sugar in it, which I thought was really interesting. So I'll be brushing my teeth with baking soda today. So hopefully that works well. But I'll keep you guys posted on what happens today and how today goes, and then kind of how I feel afterwards and what's the results. As far as the other allergies, those will be videos of their own, kind of like the journey in that. But I think I have like 3 or 4 sessions total, and it should help with everything. So yeah, we'll see how everything goes. So for my breakfast / lunch, I'm having white rice with some mushrooms, 2 fried eggs, topped it all off with some steak. During this time, I'm not necessarily tracking my calories, simply because I'm just making sure that whatever I eat has no seasoning and all of that. So I'm not necessarily like measuring or tracking for these next 24 hours. So the sugar detox is over. That was yesterday. It's the next day. So the sugar detox is officially over. Last night I was at a friend's house, so I didn't record what I ate, but I basically had the steak, Brussels sprouts, and white rice. I did have, I think, a rice cake as a snack, and then some other like little crackers that were just like rice and salt. So all in all, it wasn't bad. I didn't feel like any of the symptoms that he thought I would feel, as far as like maybe like a low-grade fever or feel any dizziness. I felt fine the whole time. I felt a little bit more energetic than normal, but overall I felt completely fine. So today I get to go back to eating my food like normal, which I'm excited for, especially my coffee. And then I will go back to him probably later on in the week to work on the next allergy, so that'll be a totally different video. But thank you guys so much for watching. I thought that this was kind of an interesting experience to share with you guys, and so each allergen that I go through, I'll take you guys through it and how everything was. So thank you, and I will see you guys later.